If you could live green, would you? I'm Nick Federoff, host of Things Green, where we introduce nuggets of green lifestyle from gardening, upcycling, answering your questions, sustainability, even discussing environmental issues. You can become more confident in making the right decisions for you and your family. So come along as we are Things Green. So in the world of Things Green, it's really important to understand that one of the things that I like to do is travel the United States to give you information and ideas on how the industry is shaping. I mean, think about it for a second. In some parts, you're not going to see somebody, in fact, this looks like it's John, riding a big old lawnmower, but they have lawnmowers over here at this particular show that is just amazing. They're huge, they're gigantic, and people from all over the United States come to this particular show, which happens to be the world's largest of its kind, and they call it Equip Exposition. Now, Equip Exposition had a different name a couple of years ago, and you want to know something? They've done such a good job of branding this place that nobody even remembers what the old name was. I think this is the second year for that. And one of their themes and mantras over here is the fact that they want to talk about where the landscape changes. So that's just a little bit of a play on words, because the landscape can be the physical landscape, or it can actually be the landscape of just the industry itself. So we're going to talk to a few people today. We're going to see how the industry is shaping up, and maybe we'll even see some really nice fun things to see as far as like lawnmowers and tractors and things of that sort. I don't know, because we just got here. I don't understand why you put me behind this thing over here, but it's pretty tall and it's a pretty big gizmo, and I don't even know what it is.
Hi, good morning.
What is this thing?
Well, I'll tell you what. This is some new technology that Chapin has, and what it is, it's called MOE technology. MOE being mixes on exit, and it's a green technology allowing people to not waste chemicals. No, didn't break it. I unsnapped it so that we could drive the point across. The premise behind this technology is you put nothing but water in the 15 or 25 gallon ATV sprayer. Then you have dedicated chemical concentrate tanks, okay? And
that's what you're holding right now.
That's what I'm holding right now.
We can't see that on camera. We got to hold it up.
All right, let's do this.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is, let's pretend we're backyard farmers, you and I, and we got some tomatoes, we got some apple trees, and we got some corn. So we're going to treat our tomatoes with fungicide. So we put our concentrated fungicide in here, we hook it up to the sprayer, we set the appropriate ounce per gallon mixture, okay? And this has a quick connect. Bingo, strap it in. We go to our tomatoes and we spray the fungicide.
Here, hold this. I'm going to strap it in.
Okay, strap it in. So our chemical concentrate is in this small tank, nothing but water in the 25 gallon tank. So we spray the fungicide. We're done with the fungicide. We got to go put fruit tree on our apples now.
So
fruit tree spray.
I got to get another one of these.
No. We don't want you to hurt your back. All you got to do is take this chemical concentrate tank off, the quick connect, okay? I like to actually have another tank dedicated for water, then you flush the system.
Oh, that's smart.
Yes, so once it's flushed,
because you're going to have it in the hose.
It's going to be charged in the hose. Okay. Remember, chemical manufacturers always recommend triple rinse. So if you let it run flushing water for like 5 minutes, you've got it taken care of. Nice. All right? So now we get our fruit tree spray chemical concentrate,
Strap it
put
back
them in
in.
the tank, strap it back in. We go to our fruit trees. We now spray our apple trees, all right? Once we're done spraying our apple trees, you need to work a little faster for a guy like me. I'm talking too fast. But once we're done spraying our apple trees with the fruit tree spray, we want to now take care of our corn, okay? So, do the same thing again. Unhook the chemical concentrate tank. Flush it with water. Grab if it's glyphosate-ready corn, grab our glyphosate concentrate, put it in the tank, hook our tank back up, and now we can spray our corn.
And how much hose do you usually?
That's about 15 foot of hose.
Is that pretty typical?
Yes, absolutely typical. The core behind this also is this is a 2.5 gallon per minute pump. Okay, it's designed that it can obviously go through the wand, but you can also get it set up to work with a boom. So if we're doing the corn, we've got a boom on the back of our ATV.
Okay. What's a boom?
A boom.
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 Okay.
That just happened. Boom. Anyway, what a boom does is it gives a bracket that hoses typically 2 nozzles, okay? And what it does is it allows you to pull it behind an ATV, and you can take like a 7 to 10 foot swath down a field and cover it with the appropriate chemical.
Okay, now is that what these things are?
Those are actually bigger. They're brand new. Why don't we take a walk?
All right.
Is we've expanded our line now to cover the 40 gallon and 60 gallon applicator sizes. Okay, these particular models are 3-point hitches, so they're perfect. Yeah, they're perfect for the guy that has the subcompact tractors that are all the rage out there right now.
Popular right now.
Yes, they are incredibly popular.
Okay, now this is not 25 gallons.
60 gallons,
60 gallons.
40 gallons.
Okay.
Okay, that one's got a 7-foot boom.
Okay.
This one, a 10-foot boom. And what it is, 7 nozzles, that's going to cover about 15 foot depending upon your elevation.
Okay, so are we adjusting through these nozzles right here?
There's different nozzles, different size orifices, different spray patterns, okay? The core area here is the larger 5 GPM pump, allowing you to build pressure in a larger volume of nozzles. This again being the 7 nozzle boom set. And the isolation valves allow you to either go through the boom or back on manual wand.
Okay, so I was just going to say, I didn't notice this. You can go manual if you wanted to do some spot spraying or something like that,
Absolutely.
where this one's going to be going through the
Through the field.
through the
Yeah.
orchard, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, 3-point hit.
Is this a mix on exit as well?
This is not mix on exit technology. Not yet.
Ooh. I think he just slipped on a world exclusive.
Uh-oh. I didn't say anything, did I? So no, but yeah, we're always looking at different ways that we can advance the product line.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so what is the cleanup for something like this? Are we still using the triple rinse method?
Always use triple rinse. The best case is, you're large enough that you're going to have it dedicated to a single service. Okay? And whenever you're done with anything, you always want to rinse it out, regardless of what you're using.
Okay, now, back in the day when I was in the business, we used to use blue dyes to see where we were going. Is that a thing that's done still these days?
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely. It's basically a tracker that allows you to know what square footage you've actually covered while spraying the product.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not like the dye is going to dye anything, because it breaks down what sunlight, heat, and moisture. It's just for that little bit of a moment you can see where you sprayed. And if you're doing something on a smaller scale, because you have different Like over here, you have these kind of sprayers, and you can get all willy-nilly all over the place and not know where you're spraying. But if you have those dyes in there, that kind of helps things out.
Exactly. Same thing, same principle. Works wonderfully, especially on 4-gallon backpacks. Guys use them all the time, either for spot spraying or total coverage for an area. Lets them know where they've sprayed so they don't overspray.
Okay, now speaking of backpack sprayers, the technology that you guys have tapped into is just amazing, because I've seen anything from pump technology to hand pump technology this way while you're still wearing it.
Yes.
And then you have battery and electric. Oh, this is amazing.
Well, it's crazy. You know, batteries are becoming all the rage, all right? So what we found out is there's two basic demands out there. One, some people prefer an internal battery. So Chapin came out with this rechargeable unit here. The battery is internal, so you use it until the battery dies, which can be up to 60 gallons.
So you're just plugging it in.
Just plug it in. You have to take the whole backpack off and recharge it. Okay. Whereas on this particular model, this is our 63924 battery-powered unit. You have the flexibility in the battery itself. Now, I love these because you push that little green button, you see the two lights, that says we're at 50% charge. This will allow you to spray up to 58 gallons. Okay, you put that battery in, you spray it. If the battery fails or goes down, you simply take the battery off, put it back on a charger, grab another battery, and you're back in business.
Or you can use something like this, and while you're working, you're pumping
manual pumping, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's old school, still used, very prevalent today.
Sure. Well, some people still are intimidated by using this kind of technology.
Yeah.
Keep up with this, and then slowly work yourself into this.
Becoming more popular as the days go by, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, you're doing that really well. I think I want you to finish the show for me.
Really? Okay. How do we finish the show?
Well, you got to grow a longer beard.
Oh, come on. Why did we go there?
Just have to. Well, what I appreciate what you do is that I know you have a big piece of property.
Yes, I do, sir.
And you're able to actually use this stuff. So you're just not a guy who is standing on a corner selling this Chapin stuff. You actually use it. You've got the ATVs. You've got this thing to make sure that what Chapin says you're actually doing.
Yes, they actually know that I'm an outdoorsman. I enjoy gardening, my tomato plants. I mean, when we talk the tomatoes, the apple trees, the corn, that's real. Yeah. That's what I work with every year. So when they want a quote-unquote test, they usually say, hey, Chris, why don't you take this home and tell us your thoughts? When it gets the Chris Rumfola approval, it's usually a go-ahead. So our engineering department's kind of like, how'd it go, Chris? How'd it go, Chris? But, yeah, that's the way it works. Not all the time, but some of the times.
Well, thank you very much for showing us this kind of stuff, because a lot of people don't know that it's available to them.
Oh, absolutely.
And they can now incorporate this within their urban farming if they've got the property big enough, all the way up to their full-fledged
Absolutely. Farming. If they have any questions, they can call the Chapin 800 number, 800-444-3140.
Yeah,
I brought you an apple pie.
Oh, is that right?
Okay, but I drove. It was about a 10-hour drive, and it didn't make it. It was a wonderful snack.
Well, thank you for bringing it.
Yes, you're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
My friend, have a wonderful day.
You too now.
All righty.
All right, Andy, I really enjoyed the way that you were taking your phone last night and going like this with the music and such, and that was a pretty wild evening, wasn't it?
It was. I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Yeah. I didn't say I was there. You guys treated me to a concert. That was nice. Thank you.
Hey, very welcome. Thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah, that was really good. We're over here at the Senix.
That's right, Senix.
Okay, so what does Senix mean?
That's a good question. So it's kind of a name that embodies our tools, which are high-end quality and high performance for the customer.
Okay. And you ought to know that because you've been with the company for a long time.
Yes, apparently I'm one of the senior guys here, so I've been with them since near the beginning.
You going to make a career out of it?
I think so. That's the plan.
Good for you. Now, this right here is what we're talking about because, in fact, you guys have two different kind of technology going on here. You have what we're going to call old school technology by using actual engines, and then now you have this kind of stuff. What's this all about?
Yeah, good question. So we cover all our bases, right, by having both gas and battery, but we're really excited about our new battery launch, this stuff specifically. So this is our X6 60-volt range. So this is a high-spec, high-performance range of products. So it'll solve all the customers' needs of living in a house, right, whether you're trimming your grass, you're blowing your leaves, trimming your hedges, cutting down stuff with chainsaws. So we've loaded up quite a lot of innovative features that you don't typically see on products like this, and we're introducing it at price points that are very surprising to customers.
Okay, now to kind of give you an idea what we're talking about over here, these batteries, technology that we're talking about, a typical drill is anywhere between 14 to 20 volts. You guys have it up to 60?
Absolutely, yeah, you're right. So we go all the way up to 60, and there's a lot of voltages we could have chosen, but we did a lot of research to settle on 60. We could have gone higher, right?
Really?
But at a certain point, the weight negates the benefit of the battery. So we don't want the product to be too heavy so that the customer gets kind of fatigued or frustrated while they're using it.
Okay, so let's come over here and let's share some things over here. Sure. So this, well, without the battery, this is very light.
True.
And this is just a weed whacker?
It is, yeah. This is our trimmer, our X6 trimmer. So, it's a good trimmer that you'll use a lot in your yard. So a couple of my favorite things about the trimmer are, first off, the high torque motor that we have. So you'll be able to power through anything, whether it's, just small grass around your yard, or if you need to brush cut a field, this will do well at either. And then something that's a trend that we've noticed the last maybe 5 years in the industry is customers are buying less edgers, and they're using the trimmers to do that task. So we designed a feature specifically for that called our 360 handle. So a lot of customers, when they trim, they have to invert the trimmer, and then it's kind of awkward to hold, right? So what we've done is put a trimmer on the backside so that you can have maximum control when you make that edge to keep it nice and crisp.
And unlike a gas motor, you're not going to have any fumes going in your schnoz while you're doing this because it's all battery.
Exactly. The schnoz is very close to the power head, right? Yeah, so that's why battery is a great option.
Oh my goodness, I remember when I was, I gotta stick this in my face. I remember when I was in the business, just the heat, because you would have these things inverted like this, and it gets so hot. It was ridiculous. This doesn't, the motors don't get hot because there is no motor.
Exactly. You won't singe the beard at all. So that's very important to some customers.
Very important, because once you singe it, oh my goodness, it's just a horrible thing. Santa doesn't singe his beard.
No, it looks very good. So I think Santa probably uses his Senix trimmer.
I would imagine so. Okay, so, all right, 60 volts is really going to move a chainsaw blade?
Absolutely. So I'm glad you pointed that out, because the chainsaw is probably the single product I'm most excited to launch. So this chainsaw is both innovative and best in class in many ways. So if I could, my favorite parts about this chainsaw are power. So chainsaw users, they need power because you're putting this chain into something very thick to cut, right? Whether it's an oak tree that just fell over or a pine that's really wet with moisture, right? So we did a couple things. First off, we put a very large 2 kilowatt motor in here that gets up to 4 kilowatts peak under load. Also, we have very high chain speed, so 26 meters per second chain speed is one of the fastest in the industry. It's faster than saws that are 2, 3, 4 times as much cost as this. And then finally, we put a high-end organ bar and chain on this chainsaw. So you'll see we called that out here. It's their Speed Cut Nano cutting system. So what that does is that gives it a nice smooth running. It's going to help the chain continue the speed while it's in the wood instead of while you're just on the bench pulling the trigger, because that doesn't do anybody any good, right? So overall, really good saw. And then
you still have to put oil in it, right, for the chain?
Yes, you do. So your oil reservoir is here, and it's actually one of the largest in the industry. Reason we did that is because we want the customer to be as productive as possible and spend the least amount of time constantly refilling. Also gives them less opportunity to forget that it's empty and burn up a sprocket. And then on the other side, what you were pointing to, so this is our toolless chain tensioning. So gone are the days of having to get out your scratch, loosen the bar nuts, adjust the chain tension. Now you just have this knob here and you can get your chain as loose or tight as you need it.
Really? So you don't have to open this up? Because I'm used to open it up and you get a screwdriver and you pull it out and then you get your wrench and you kind of tweak it down so everything is right in there.
Exactly. Those days are gone. So now it's easy peasy, and because if you're using it all day, the chain will stretch with heat. So you don't have to stop and take your chainsaw apart to adjust that chain tension.
I got to tell you that right there. Where was this technology 40 years ago when I was in the business?
Still in the ether, I guess, right?
Yeah. All right, so this is a chainsaw. I saw someone holding this one here earlier, and it's like you could be like a Paul Bunyan tall dude from the ground working with this one.
Exactly, yeah. So this is our pole saw, very important piece of the lineup. So we're pretty big on safety, as any company that manufactures spinning blades should be. And so the reason I like pole saws in general is because it keeps people off of ladders. So you should never use chainsaw on a ladder. So this allows the user to be on the ground and make cuts very high up. So the two things I like most about this are, first off, the size when it's not in use. So this is shorter than me, so it's easy to store, right? Because a pole saw isn't something you use every week. So you don't want it taking up a huge amount of space in your garage. So it collapses down. But the thing I like on the other end is actually how far it extends. So you can see we put multiple extensions on here, different sections. So I can easily, again, toolless, right? Zip it out, that's one. So maybe if you have some low limbs, you could do easily just like this. But if you really wanted to get a high reach, you engage the second section. And now, if I use it at normal operating height, I'm trimming some pretty high limbs, right?
I got to tell you, it's pretty impressive. It wasn't as impressive on the ground, but when you stick it up like this, that thing is going up into the heavens there.
Exactly, yep. And I'm doing all that from the safety of the ground. The cut's taking place far away from me, so it's a great product.
Which is another really important thing to understand. Tree trimming is the #1 blue-collar job that kills the most amount of people. So safety is paramount whenever you're working with saws, not only for having high hand, eye, arm protection, but as he mentioned a couple of times, you just don't want to get on a ladder. It's too dangerous to do so, and especially with the tendency to want to reach when you're on a ladder, you could fall down, go boom, really easy.
Yep, and typically whatever you're cutting, that could also engage the ladder as well. So cutting on a ladder is never the answer. You should hopefully cut from the ground or climb the tree.
Okay. So I see we have other things over here. Oh, by the way, how long is the battery life on these things? Is it different for each tool?
Yeah, so it is different for each tool, and it depends on the job you're doing, right? So we have done a pretty good job offering a wide range of batteries for the customer needs. So let's say you only plan to trim around your 1/8 acre yard. Maybe you could just use our very small, on the 60 volt, our 3 amp hour battery. But let's say you have a huge amount of property and you want more runtime, you can get either our 4 amp or our 6 amp. We have options all the way up to 12 amp, depending on the customer need.
Okay, so it sounds like if we're going to be doing battery, oh, look at this little one, it's a little cutie one. Check this out. I may trim my mustache with it. No, you don't trim your mustache with this one. That's a little tiny one. So we're going to have to learn some new terminology here in the world of gardening tools, as well as with, because, back in the day we'd say, well, I want a 23cc engine. Sure. So we're not talking that any longer.
No, those days have changed. I agree. I would say now it's more, what's the bar length you need for the job on your chainsaw, and you go from there, because the power is going to be there no matter what.
Okay, I got to tell you, something like this scares me. There's
a lot of power on that one. Yeah, it'll cut up to like 1.5 inch diameter branch, just like that.
Just like that. Wow. Well, the technology is fascinating. What you guys got over here, and you even have little tiny blowers, and these aren't. Well, that's an attachment over there, isn't it?
That's a dedicated unit. So this is a part of our 20 volt range. So this is a step down from the 60 volt. It's got less power but much less price. And then also this is good because we offer a range of power tools. So drills, drivers, circ saws, that kind of stuff. This is the same battery. So the customer benefit there is they can have one battery system for everything, for their power tools, for their outdoor power equipment.
And do you have to keep the batteries charged all the time, or if you don't use, you use the tool today, and then you're not coming back until next Saturday to do your work, right. Is that tool still charged up, or do you have to charge it every time?
You don't need to charge it every time. If the battery's not completely depleted, it can just wait until the next time you use it.
Because I know that I have several electric bikes, and the manufacturer that I got them from, he told me, use your bike, and then when you come back, plug it in. This way it's always charged. So these are all lithium batteries, right?
Absolutely, yep.
So the lithium battery, you're able to keep them charged all the time, without having to worry about them being overcharged.
Exactly. That's correct. Yep.
All right, Andy, thank you very much for allowing us to come over here and
Yeah.
bother your booth, and much success in what you guys are doing over here. And I look forward to seeing all the new innovations that you guys are constantly coming up with.
Well, thanks so much. We're really glad you stopped by, and we're excited as well.
Thanks for joining me on another excursion of Things Green. Our goal is to educate, inform, and entertain so you can become exposed to a green lifestyle inside and outside of the home and community, all on your terms. Join me next time right here as we help you with Things Green.